postseason? What do you want to see carry over following the win against Detroit here today against Buffalo?
Yeah, well, there's a lot on the line in some ways for our team tonight in that Buffalo is a very offensive team. They score more goals than we do. They've got lots of skill, lots of talent, and their risk profile will have changed. There's no cost to a play that they don't make that gets knocked down. So the reads tonight are going to be very advanced, and we do have decisions that we'll have to make in a week about guys that are in or out where there is a cost to the good decisions one way or the other. So it's an important game. It'll be challenging for our guys to pick up the reads. There's a lot of motion, a lot of interchanging, some very dynamic, very skilled players. And we're going to push guys into some minutes that they're not used to. So there'll be lots to learn tonight.
You got a pretty good scratch skate going on.
They're not bad.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah. If we weren't in the schedule that we're in, they'd all be playing. I do think there's a chance Sam Bennett comes back and plays one on the weekend. He's at a point that he feels great again. But the back-to-back at the start and the back-to-back at the end was a place that we wanted to try to manage this out if we could on minutes. And it's just the guys who play 20-plus minutes a night. We're mindful of that. The defense is a little different. One, we don't have as many defensemen that could come in. But I would like to, all things being equal, keep the guys who play huge minutes out of back-to-back and just manage some of that.
So Bennett could come back Monday?
Yeah, good.
Kulikov, sorry.
We expect him to play against the Rangers unless something changes. But I know I shouldn't mention these things, but it's just the truth. I think there's a chance Cooley's ready to play. I may look at taking one of the defensemen out to do it, one of the big minute guys out to do it, to keep them out of back-to-back, but we'll have to wait till we get there to see who's healthy.
Uvis Valinskas, first game 100 for
Yeah.
him, just what you've seen from him over the 2 years and also giving him a chance with Gus today.
Well, interesting, he's 100, but he's not 18 or 19 years old. He comes over as a veteran player, and that can be a challenge too because you have a lifetime of pro hockey and then you have to make these adjustments. His foundation and why he's here is his intensity and the pace that he plays at. So that's been great for him. We think he's learned to manage his game a little bit and really like where his game's at right now. When you come in as an offensive player, well, you have to show some of that offense to stay, and it's a different framework out there. The offense that works in one league doesn't work here. So there was some management of that by him, and now I think he's got a really nice balance in his risk, but his intensity level has never wavered. He's strong. He actually looks stronger now than ever.
Obviously, Aaron's been back a couple days now. How different is the group in the bye when you have all the guys kind of back together?
Just way better chirps, right? He's taken some savage abuse out there, but all in good fun. And you put another guy that size on your blue line that's got that range, even in the morning skate drills, it changes the way you look. And there's an excitement when you have one of those players. It'll be the same thing when Matthew joins our group. Hopefully next week he comes back into practice full, and you start to appreciate the talent that you've come to forget about. Actually, they're not in the lineup, so you just kind of move on, and then you put a player who's gifted out there. It's noticeable.
Looking at the Sabres, obviously they have so many weapons and
Yeah.
offensive players. This run they're on now, I think 8-2-0 in the last 10. Have you noticed anything different about their games? Obviously they've had a lot of peaks and valleys this year.
Well, I've been through it, what they're going through, and right when you get to the point where it's clearly you're not making the playoffs, there's a little bit of a lull with your team, and then that idea of playing for jobs, it's real. And it's also it's the only way for them to mentally manage this part of the season. How do you get through games that don't matter in the standings for you? Well, you rally your group and say, look, we got to go out, we got to play, so let's play hard, and then they get to have a different kind of fun. They get to be relaxed because the play that you don't make because there's danger to it, and if the other team picks it off, it's in the back of your net, and that costs you 2 points that costs you the playoffs. Those plays aren't there. So they're making those plays. And then they can play very quickly. They play fast. They have a very high skill level, so they're playing the game they're kind of built to play maybe. So they're hard to handle for sure. They're putting up huge numbers, scoring a lot of goals. That'll be great for us. It's going to be a challenge.
Coach Forsling, Valinskas, Jones, all setting up goals the other night.
Mm-hmm.
How does it change the complexion of a game for you when you get those those type of offensive contributions from the Blue Liners?
Yeah, it changes the way the team has to defend on you. Now, we feel most of those are off of, not all of them, but a lot of them are an increased zone time. So our zone time numbers are going up even with the players that we have out of our lineup. I think our forwards, and part of that is our forwards are moving defensively. We're knocking pucks down. Now we're creating some broken play offense, which is what we thrive on. And then the defensemen, I think, have done a really good job of deciding when to drop. We went a whole stretch of shot blocks. We were missing the net and blocking at a very, very high rate. It's going to slightly start to come down now because there's a few more options. Our forwards are moving differently.
The forward line looked a little bit different today, but I mean, last game you had two different versions of what your fourth line could look like in the playoffs.
Right.
Playing in that game, I mean, how comfortable are you with those two lines, and how good is it to kind of get a look at each of those?
And that was the idea of the last 4 games. If Thomas had been in the lineup tonight, I would have left both of those lines the same and only moved around one line. So I would leave the Lundell line, would have left Sturm, and would have left that line for the exact reason that you brought up, to give them more reps and to look at them. So they do look differently. Very physical, very heavy line, very quick line with some good speed and skill on the outsides. And they will make our team look different depending on how they're played. And that's part of kind of my first answer to the question here. This is a bit of a tryout, if you will, of what's the best way for us to look going into game one. Is it really heavy, or are we looking for as much speed as we can get? And the opponent will have something to do with that.
Going back to Matthew, was there any thought to have him practice with these guys today? Bennett, Reinhart?
The other guys, no, he comes in earlier, and it's more the employment of our staff. On game days, we got the 20 guys we got to get ready, and then we have the group of healthy players that are also need to be pushed, and then we've got Matthew, who needs a certain kind of skating. I don't want all 27 guys in the training room at the same time, right? And I also want a cleaner focus on the game. You got 27 guys around in the training room, 7 of them aren't playing. The jokes are different, like the game prep. So I want the game group to have a normal game day idea. That's why I've kind of split it up. That's all. He'll be back in with those guys. Maybe tomorrow.
Is Nosek hurt?
Yeah, just under the weather. Came in a little bit under the weather today, so we got him out of here. Yeah, so that's why he's out. Just illness.
And just to clarify, you think Tkachuk will be full, ready to go Thursday, or?
I'm hoping.
You come back.
He's got to get to a point that they can push him a little harder on the ice, and then that's the hope.
VTech tonight?
Correct.